Humans need their body core temperature to stay within narrow limits for optimum functioning, namely between 36.1 and 37.2 degrees Celsius. This temperature stability is maintained by balancing heat gain with heat loss, and vice versa, by means of the autonomic body systems. Extreme heat is dealt with by sweating and breathing more quickly, both of which increase the metabolic rate. Each liter of sweat evaporated transfers 540 calories to the air. There is a consequent increase in heart rate and increase in oxygen consumption. When the blood temperature reaches 38 degrees Celsius, physical and mental performance is significantly impaired. By 41 degrees Celsius, the autonomic control system cannot cope, and by 43 degrees Celsius, only 6 degrees above the normal body range, death will occur. The effects of extreme heat are excessive sweating, leading to the depletion of body fluids and electrolytes. This now causes a further increase in body temperature. Cramps, giddiness and fatigue, increased heart rate and oxygen demand, thirst, cell damage, heat stroke, and coma. Extremes of cold are more easily guarded against by the use of warm clothing, but without such protection, the autonomic system will start to fail at 34.5 degrees Celsius. Coma and death will occur at about 29 degrees Celsius, only 7 degrees below the normal operating range. The body has evolved two physiological mechanisms operated by the hypothalamus and the somatic motor system to maintain core temperature during cold exposure. The first mechanism diverts blood away from the skin and extremities to the trunk of the body by vasoconstriction, that is, a narrowing of the arteries. Consequently, a layer of relatively hyperperfused tissue, not getting enough oxygen, is formed between the environment and the viscera, the internal organs. Deprived of the heat from the metabolically active core, this shell of tissue cools, thereby reducing the gradients for heat loss from the skin by radiation, conduction, and evaporation, and forming a barrier between the cold air and the body's core heat. This tissue insulation has been estimated to be about the same that is provided by wearing a light suit, whereas heavy Arctic clothing provides up to 8 times as much insulation. If the insulating effect of vasoconstriction is insufficient to protect the core temperature, the continuing fall in temperature triggers the onset of heat production by muscles. Initially, muscle tone or tension increases, which increases metabolic rate twofold. However, if temperature falls further, the muscle activity changes to cycles of contraction and relaxation, producing visible shivering, which produces a metabolic rate of 6 times that at rest. Shivering comes at a cost. It disables a person and requires an increase in blood flow to the extremities, which diminishes the insulating effect of vasoconstriction. Shivering stops below 34.5 degrees Celsius when the autonomic system becomes impaired. When core temperature reaches 29 degrees Celsius, the autonomic system fails and death will occur. The effects of extreme cold are uncontrollable shivering down to 34.5 degrees Celsius and a demand for increased oxygen, cell damage, especially of the brain, sleepiness, apathy, and a feeling of contentment, poor circulation, frostbite, coma, and death. In the lesson on hearing, details are given on the long-term and short-term harmful effects of noise. In the context of stress, with which we are concerned here, noise is a significant factor, and noise levels should be kept as low as possible and certainly below 90 decibels during an 8-hour day. Vibration is also a significant stress factor, or stressor, in the cockpit environment. More so in older aircraft because of the lack of anti-vibration systems. It is a particular problem in helicopters, but we will only consider the problem of vibration in general. Vibration is defined as motion that repeatedly alternates in direction, such as an aircraft engine. Normally, vibration is transferred by contact with the source, such as through the aircraft airframe to which the seat is bolted. However, low sonic or subsonic frequencies transmitted through the air may also exert physiological stress without direct contact with the source. The overall effect of vibration on the human body is fatigue. However, different vibration frequencies affect different parts of the body because of their varying ability to absorb different vibration frequencies. For example, the backbone, the internal organs, and muscle tissue all have different levels of mechanical impedance. Here are some examples of the effect of vibration on the human body. Frequencies between 1 and 4 Hz interfere with breathing. Frequencies between 4 and 10 Hz can cause chest and abdominal pains. Those frequencies between 8 and 12 Hz can cause backache, and frequencies between 10 and 12 Hz can cause headache, pains in the throat, muscle tension, and a degradation of visual acuity. These effects are temporary, but sustained exposure to some types of vibration can have long-term effects, such as vibration white finger, caused by holding vibrating equipment. The effects of different vibration frequencies will also vary, depending on whether the individual is standing or sitting, as absorption potential of the body varies. Great effort is taken in modern aircraft to eliminate vibration, for example by acoustically balancing the engines and by dampening down any panel vibration and by providing well-cushioned seats. It is, however, desirable that a pilot is able to detect vibrations, as these may indicate a fault. This ends our lesson on physical stress.